20s, I'm gonna be playing them, and ain't nothing gonna change about that. And so today I wanna share with you guys my 10 favorite sports to play. And yeah, this is gonna be my favorite sports to play. My favorite sports to watch would be a very different list. But these are my top 10 favorite sports to play, and this is gonna kind of be going the vibe of like you got all your boys together and you're just running a little pickup game of this. Because of course I haven't played all these sports professionally or even amateur level, so at an organized level it would be kind of hard to make this ranking. But I have played a plethora of sports, and so I think I'm pretty qualified to make this video. But without further ado, let me jump into the first sport. I think that this list might surprise some people because it has a couple sports that maybe you might not traditionally think of when it comes to enjoyment and just people's favorite sports. But let's kick it off. So I wrote it down here on my computer, so I'm gonna be looking over at it. But in the 10th spot is Cornhole. So Cornhole is a surprisingly fun sport. I mean, debatably a sport, but it's a very fun, like, lawn game to play. And the way I'm gonna gauge if this is a sport or not is if there's like a professional level to this, and there is professional cornhole, so it qualifies as a sport. I love playing cornhole. It's very practical and it's a really fun sport if you can consistently like hit the board. You need like 4 people to play it, so it's not really like an individual sport that you can do, but it shines especially at like barbecues and tailgates and like dinner parties and stuff. Busting out the cornhole set and getting on that with some of your boys is some of the best vibes. Will be on there for like hours at a time, and it'll just be straight vibes. We'll do like best of vibes, and it's just such a fun sport. So in the 10th spot is easily and a very warranted spot. It's gotta go to cornhole. And if I don't mention a sport on the list, or if I don't mention your favorite sport, it's probably because it's not in my top 10. There's a lot of sports that I was thinking about that didn't make the cut because simply I just don't enjoy them enough, and that's that. And again, this list is just my personal opinion, so if your sport didn't make the list, sorry. But moving on to number 9. Number 9 is gonna be tennis. So I played one season of organized tennis back in 7th grade, but I did lessons for like a lot of time that year, and so I spent a good year grinding tennis. I was a JV demon. Me and one of my boys, we would run doubles, and we won every single game, and it was so fun because we were kind of just not really taking ourselves too seriously. But ever since then, I've played tennis a little bit on and off. I really enjoy it. My girlfriend played tennis all through high school, so I like hitting around with her, and it gets pretty competitive when you play games. I struggle to put it any higher on the list just because I'm not too good at it, and I just think it can get a little bit boring after a while. You need like a big court to play it, so it's not a very practical sport at times. But tennis definitely deserves a spot on this list because it's a super popular sport, and I do truly enjoy playing it a lot. So shout out to tennis players. Great sport. Number 8. In the number 8 spot. In the number 8 spot, I got volleyball. So volleyball is an interesting one because it's more versatile than the 2 that I just mentioned. I really like volleyball because if you just got you and a buddy, all you need is that volleyball, right? And you can kind of like do what I think they call it peppering, where you just kind of like you bump set and then spike it to your partner, and then you kind of repeat that cycle, and you just kind of, it's similar to like soccer when you do keep ups and stuff. So I think that that's really fun. I do that sometimes if I'm just bored and there's a volleyball and I'm just sitting somewhere I gotta be. Me and my boys will just head around in volleyball. It's super fun to get in like a big circle of people and play like keep up with the ball as well. And then similarly, if you have a net and you can set it up somewhere, it's super fun to just get a bunch of people together. It's a very fun group game, so it's very like bonding for a lot of people, and I really like that when a sport really enjoyability, the fact that it can bring people together and create those, fun, intense, like, rallies where anyone can kind of step up if it goes in their direction. I think that's really neat. So, I got volleyball in the 8. Volleyball in the 8. Volleyball in the 8. Next up, may surprise some people, but I got ping pong. Table tennis, ping pong in the 7th spot. So, I think ping pong is an extremely underrated sport. It's super fun. I love it. I would say that I'm pretty good at ping pong, and so I really enjoy it when I find someone else who's like decently good, because I think that getting a good rally in ping pong is one of the most fun experiences in sports, because it's so like technical, but at the same time it's like kind of luck, because when they're just like smashing it like on the other side of the table, you kind of just put out your paddle, and when you can get like a neat return, it's like, okay, that was really cool, but I feel like sometimes it's a little bit of luck. But rallies in ping pong are so fun. If you get a chance to watch like professional ping pong players, it's absurd how they do it. I think it is one of the more talented sports, honestly. I just think it's super underrated, and I have a lot of respect for people who can really play ping pong at such a high level, because the ball's moving so fast, I don't even know how you can see it. But ping pong is a great sport. Another sport that really shines at those like kind of like dinner party vibes, like outdoor lawn game vibes, like grad party type stuff. I think that ping pong is a sport that can truly shine in those areas. So, great sport. And also shout out to the variant of ping pong. It's called sting pong. I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but it's a game that I really like to play with my friends, because as I mentioned, I'm pretty solid at ping pong. And so the way you play sting pong is you essentially play a point. You play a point of ping pong, and whoever wins the point gets to take a free swing at the other person's back. So standing on opposite sides of the table, the person who lost the point will kind of lift up their shirt and turn around, and the person who won the point will stand on the other side. They'll get the ping pong ball on the paddle, and they'll get one free hit to hit them in the back as hard as they can. And when you make a good connection on sting pong, it's really funny because it hurts. Like, it gives you some nice welts. But me and my boys really love to play that because it's just kind of fun, and like, I'm oftentimes the one who gets to hit my boys, so that's always fun. Ping pong in the 7th. Let me know down below what your favorite sport is, or if you have like a Mount Rushmore of sports, like your top 4. I think that mine is pretty solid, so we might have to have some debates. Anyways, moving into number 6. Number 6 on the list is gonna be golf. Now, golf is a sport that I have very conflicted feelings with. Golf, let me get this straight, is an extremely hit or miss sport. It is the most hit or miss sport I think that exists on this planet. The reason golf isn't higher is because, one, I'm not very good at it. It is one of the only sports where I truly am just not very good at it. And it takes a long time to really get good enough to where it can be a really fun sport. But I think if you are really good at golf, it is one, extremely impressive, and 2, golf is one of the most fun sports, if not the most fun sport, because it is extremely relaxing and extremely just like fun to walk the courses, to get these beautiful views. It just feels like a little escape from reality, right? But oftentimes for me, and I'm sure many of you golfers can relate, it is the most frustrating sport. I think golf is probably the most mentally taxing sport. It requires an extreme amount of mental focus that I tend to lack. So, golf in the 6, I mean, yeah, it's also just really expensive to like play. Yeah, I mean, it's just also really expensive. So, I mean, that's another downside. It has like probably, I was looking at clubs, you can't get under, like, if you want to get a good set of new clubs, I don't even have my own personal clubs technically, but if you want to get a good set of clubs, it's gonna run you up close to like $1,000, and that's just a little bit egregious for someone like me who doesn't have $1,000 just to blow on a bunch of clubs, but I'm also a lefty, so it's harder to just find clubs or find old clubs that people have that they'll let me use because not a lot of people are lefty. But yes, golf in the six. In the five spot is American football. American football. In the five spot is American football. Now, I love football. When it comes to watching sports, football is my number one. It comes in at the very top. I'm a Raiders fan. Go Raiders. This will finally be our year. But I do love playing football. So my favorite memories as a kid just come from me throwing around the football in like the front yard of my friend's house. We would play this game called Crazy Catch, and we would try and do like the craziest catches that we could possibly do. It's pretty self-explanatory, but we would try and like just give us lobs and do the craziest one-handed, behind the back, whatever catches we can do. And we would really spend hours in the front yard just playing that a lot. And like running routes is always super fun. And then when you actually have enough people to do a full game, it's super fun because if you get a good quarterback and you can really hit people on some of these routes, it's just super fun. So I'm going to put football in the 5. It honestly could be a lot higher. I just think that these top 4 are really hard to compete with when it comes to just the enjoyability, but overall football is a near flawless sport. It can get pretty physical at times. I don't tend to play tackle because I like to be able to walk, but two-hand touch is a great alternative, and it's still super fun. So, football in the 5. In the 4 spot is soccer. Soccer. I am from America, so I do call it soccer. But I believe soccer is to be the world number 1 when it comes to playing. It is probably one of the most, it probably is the most versatile sport in the world. All you need is a ball, and you can do 1,000 things with it. Like, you can just do keep ups with yourself, you can do juggles, you can do like passing around with people, you can, take shots on goal, you can kind of just, you can do a lot with just a single ball. And I think that it's super easy to pick up, right? It's just kicking a ball around, literally anyone can do that. And so just kicking a ball around with your friends, and if you happen to have a goal, doing shootouts or doing stuff like that are always so fun. And I really have some of my best memories playing soccer with my friends. I played soccer for like probably 6 years, maybe 7. It was when I was a lot younger, but it was just so fun. I remember always having the best time, and now, especially with the World Cup being upon us, I've been super tapped into soccer. Me and one of my friends are trying to get into the Premier League, and we think we're gonna go for Brentford. So, if you are a Brentford fan, or you know someone who's a Brentford fan, let me know if they're actually a worthwhile team, and if not, which team should I go for? But with that, soccer's definitely gotta be in the 4. It's gotta be. It can't be any higher though, because these top 3 sports are just unbeatable. Not possible to beat. In the 3. Now this again might shock some people, but in the 3 I got pickleball. Yeah, pickleball. So pickleball is a very, very up-and-coming sport. It's the fastest growing sport in the world, and I and my family have taken a particular liking to it. Me and my dad, we play with some of his friends at least twice a week, and it is honestly the highlight of my week sometimes. I typically will tend to play sports almost every day, but I look forward to this one especially because pickleball is just so fun. Getting into these long rallies, and it's a very precise sport. I know a lot of tennis players criticize it because it's just a smaller court and requires less, lateral movement and actually bursts of speed and all that that sort of stuff. But it's very technical, and I like that it's all ages can play and all ages can actually be really good at it. I've been humbled many times by older people who I thought, well, they can barely walk, so I'm definitely going to be able to beat them, but yeah, that's just not how it works a lot of the times. I remember me and one of my boys who we used to play pickleball a ton. We were at this park, and we, at the time, were both, I think, 17, and we were playing pickleball together, and there was this elderly Asian couple who came up to us, and they were like, you mind if we play with you boys? And we were like, yeah, of course. And we were like, alright, like, we gotta take it easy on these guys, like, we're not gonna go too crazy or anything. But they literally 11-0'd us. We didn't score a single point on them, and we're not bad, like, I promise you, we're actually good, and these guys just turned out to be crazy. So looks can be extremely deceiving when it comes to pickleball. You can't count anyone out, and that's something that I really love about it. And so, I don't know anyone who dislikes pickleball. It's just such a fun sport, and I think that anyone can be good at it if they really, like, put the effort in. So, pickleball on the 3. Pickleball on the 3. Now, in the number 2 spot, another maybe controversial one, but I got Spikeball. Now, Spikeball would probably be my number 1 if the number 1 just wasn't the best sport ever to play. But Spikeball is so much fun. I spend so much of my summer playing Spikeball with my boys. We'll just go to the park, and all you need is the ball in the net. It's such an easy setup. It's super inclusive. And again, I don't know anyone who doesn't like Spikeball because it's just so fun. And I think that anyone can play it. Beginners like it too. I think that it's super fun. Again, debatable if it's actually a sport or not. But I love it. And there's a professional league, so it's counting in this list. Returning those extremely long spikes and getting it back on that and continuing those long rallies with your partner is just, it gives you such like a adrenaline rush, and it's just so fun because it's like, I mean, if you've played it, it's just kind of undescribable, like the joy I get from playing Spikeball, and maybe that's a little sad, and I need to check myself why I get that much joy from playing Spikeball, but I really do, and I really enjoy it so much. So, Spikeball in the 2, Spikeball in the 2, and I think in the 1, it comes no surprise to anyone, but my favorite sport to play, and the most enjoyable sport for me, is of course basketball. Now, I think a lot of people probably saw this coming because basketball is like the sport. I feel like nowadays, like everyone has, and I feel like basketball is a kind of an eternal sport where everyone will continue to play it. I love going to runs at local parks and just running pickup games for hours, and it's truly a game where it is pretty technical when you actually play games. But one of my favorite aspects about this is just going to a park or going to a hoop somewhere alone and just shooting around. It's very, very therapeutic and calming, and if you can actually make your shots, that is, if you're missing all of them, it might piss you off a little bit more than it calms you. But for me, I can make a solid amount of shots. I'll work on my post game, work on my drives. I can pretty much dunk, so it's always fun to like work on my dunks and see if I can get any rim grazers in there. But it's just so fun, and then playing, you can play with any number of people as long as it's even. It's really easy to do run 2s, 3s, 4s, and 5s. And yeah, I just think basketball is the best sport in making new friends, bringing people together. As I was talking about earlier, that's something I really think is important.